Things that used to take me weeks and months now take me minutes and hours.
Oh, that's so crazy.
And Gemini in particular, within the last couple of weeks, it's gotten exponentially better.
There's a lot of hate coming out about ChatGPT just in like the last couple of weeks. They had some update where it was, for lack of a better term, made it a little ass kissy.
A lot of people also they get into it at a moment in time, and then they get kind of stuck in thinking that that's what it is, but it's evolving so fast.
Hey guys, I'm Rob Esposito with Max Lux Media, and welcome to the best marketing podcast ever.
I'm REBL Risty with REBL Marketing, and we are excited today. We've got Julian Brandt with Ampra.ai. And Julian, you and I have known each other for a while, so this is your new venture. Yep. I'm super excited to talk to you about it. But first, for our audience, could you just tell us a little bit about who you are and your background and how you got to where you are today?
Sure. How far do you want me to go back?
Just the good stuff.
Okay. So I started a digital marketing agency in 2010 called Organic SEO.
Okay.
And that was really mostly focused on serving small local brick and mortar business. We did a lot of local SEO and social media management, content creation. And then in 2017 went through a merger. And as a result of that, we rebranded, created Digitopia, and then exited that business in 2023. And so through that process now, I've been, kind of taking the last couple of years to figure out exactly what's next. And my wife and I and our two young kids traveled around the world for 4 or 5 months.
That's right.
And I kept coming back. I was looking at acquisition opportunities and kept coming back to really like geeking out over AI. And that was like where I was finding my obsession. Had a couple consulting opportunities fall in my lap, helping businesses run their EOS process. And so I still have a few consulting clients. And in addition to doing that, I'm also in the very early stages of launching Ampra.ai, which is just a business to help other companies better leverage AI.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So we've actually had Joe Freeman from Digitopia, your former partner. And so I've got to work with that team and very familiar with what they do. For some of us, maybe you and I have got to talk a little bit, and I know what EOS is, but yeah.
Yeah, that was my question. I was like, do I ask?
Maybe break us down why that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. EOS is a business management methodology, and it comes from, the main book is called Traction. If you've heard of the book Traction, it's basically a manual for how to run a business effectively. And so Joe and I started using, and our other partner Frank started using that process probably 6 years ago, and had a ton of success, running the business by just following that process. And that's gotten really popular in the business community. And so through that process of running that weekly meeting cadence and the quarterly strategy days, everything that makes up that process, we had some great business success. And when I sold the business, some people knew that I was available and asked if I could help support them in that EOS process. So I have 4 consulting clients right now, and I just come in and help run their weekly leadership team meetings. And I love it because it's very structured. So everything, regardless of what the issue or opportunity is within the business, it all fits in a specific place, within the framework of EOS.
Got it. And I think with EOS, because is it the integrator?
Yeah.
Now you need an AI integrator.
Sure, yeah.
And is that kind of the role that you're starting to find yourself in?
Yeah, so through this process of consulting, I started using a lot of different kind of out-of-the-box AI tools to better support my clients, and was able to be a lot more effective with a shorter, within less time. And so, I'm using Claude projects and custom GPTs and ChatGPT and some other really cool out-of-the-box solutions to be more effective with running the business, recapping meetings, creating job descriptions, developing SOPs, kind of the operational aspects of the business, and then also, obviously also the marketing and sales components. So creating, marketing messaging and things like that.
Wow. Yeah. So you mentioned Claude, GPTs. What are you finding is your new favorite tool that's got you excited?
I don't know if it's new, but Claude is my day-to-day go-to. That's where I spend a lot of my time helping to support my clients. because just the way that it's set up, which is a little bit different from what OpenAI has or what Google has with Gemini. They're all like kind of converging towards a similar product, I would say, and they all have their strengths and weaknesses. But Claude I really like because you can create a custom project to support a specific area of your business, and then you can feed it with a bunch of knowledge of past results, past content, and then it generates like a really high quality output for you. So it cuts down on the things that used to take me weeks and months now take me minutes and hours.
Oh, that's so crazy. And Claude also is now you can hook up with your calendar, your Google Drive. It just seems like they're coming out with more features.
Yeah. Like I can prompt Claude and say, when do I have time to meet with Reb for coffee in the next week? And it'll just access my calendar, show me available times.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Yeah. Why haven't I done that?
And the same thing with Gemini. If you're using Google Workspace, Gemini now has that integration, obviously, since it's a Google product.
Yeah.
But it's really seamlessly integrated with calendars and Gmail and Sheets and Docs and everything.
Is it hard to set up?
It's not hard.
I keep Gemini in particular, because we use Google for most of our stuff.
Yeah.
It's constantly like, oh, I could do things now, and just click on this and spend 20 minutes figuring it out. And I'm like, I'll look at it later. I'll look at it later. But it sounds like it's something that I really do need to spend the time to figure out.
And Gemini in particular, within the last couple of weeks, it's gotten exponentially better. I don't know when this is coming out, but like in early, May. 2.5 Pro came out, and that's significantly better than what it used to be. And now that at Google's I/O conferences in the next few days, there's probably going to be another iteration that's going to make it even more powerful. But it's you have to know where to go, and that's the hardest part.
Well, and it sounds like there's a lot of churn. I read a lot of Reddit posts about AI, and boy, it seems like there's a lot of hate coming out about ChatGPT just in like the last couple of weeks. They had some update where it was, for lack of a better term, made it a little ass kissy.
Yep.
And so they had to undo that, and then people said, well, it's getting dumber the last couple of weeks, and we don't know why.
Yeah.
So it's like, it just depending on where you get in on this, like your experience could vary greatly.
Yeah, 100%. And I think a lot of people also they get into it at a moment in time, and then they get kind of stuck in thinking that that's what it is, but it's evolving so fast. So you some people you come across, they kind of hate on AI because they think it hallucinates and it's never going to be accurate.
Yeah.
But that's like months ago. Now it's
Right.
way better. And so there's a lot of instances like that where I think you've really got to try to figure out how to stay on top of it because it's amazing how quickly it's evolving.
Yeah. Are you, so with your clients and as you're talking to people, it first is kind of almost like that mindset, do I really want to spend 20 minutes? It's going to save me hours, but I just have to get past the 20 minutes.
Yeah.
How are you helping your clients get past that?
So for me, it's, I'm in the fortunate scenario where I sold my business. I've got some flexibility with my time and figuring out what's next. But I basically just decided to start showing people how I was using it for my consulting clients.
Okay.
So somebody asked if I would present to their team of 20 or 30 people and give them some practical use cases and point them to some productivity tools for both personal and business. And so I did that. So that kind of forced me to get organized, build a proper presentation around it. I gave the presentation. Everyone was blown away and amazed, tons of great feedback. And so I just decided I would keep doing that. And so now I've been going to different EO, entrepreneurs organization groups and different businesses and presenting to their team and just giving them this really tactical hands-on presentation, showing them how to use the specific tools, what settings to turn on and off, what's possible, how to use things like Notebook LM, some of the lesser known technology out there. And so that's kind of how it's starting. That's how I'm getting people excited about it and opening their eyes to what's possible. And then I honestly don't exactly know at this point what the business model will eventually turn into, but for right now, I'm just helping kind of like a done with you offering. So if somebody wants to take what I've showed them and have me help set that up for them in their business, I'll spend a half day setting that up. So to your point, it's really easy, but it does take a couple hours to gather the right assets, create a system, instructions, and all the things that need to be done. But then once it's created, then you can like leverage this amazing tool and have it kind of be like this quasi virtual.
I think that's where I'm at. Is it, boy, if I could just have somebody show me how to set this stuff up and kind of teach me how to use it, or make sure I'm asking it the right questions. I guess.
Yeah.
I think that would go a long way. Otherwise, I'm just seeing these Instagram ads every day that are like, oh, kids that are 12 years old are building their businesses on AI, and you only know ChatGPT, and it just makes me feel old and angry.
Just another day.
To that point, it is pretty interesting. I don't know if you like a few days ago there was an interview with Sam Altman from OpenAI talking about like how dramatically different people like me in my 40s are using it versus somebody that's like a teenager or like somebody in their 20s, and saying how younger people are using it more truly like as an operating system, like every aspect of their business of their day-to-day life.
I've been reading some pieces that are basically saying like Google is in trouble because if you're under 23 or something, you're not using Google to search the internet. You're just basically using ChatGPT as your window to the internet.
I'm curious for you guys, like, do you use Google as much anymore? I mean, I'm imagining most you guys are also using ChatGPT.
Yeah. I mean, now I think about it, I'm probably on Chat the most, and then use Perplexity. Yeah. And honestly, I go to Google to be like, who's in the cast of, Ted Lasso? That's kind of where I go to Google anymore. Yeah.
Interesting.
No, it depends on the question, but I'm still mostly Google, and it's given me AI answers all the time anyway, even though I don't ask for them. Which sometimes are helpful and sometimes not so much. So,
what do you think the reason is for why you're using Google still versus?
I probably habit. I've been using Google since 1999 or whenever, or 2000, whenever it came out. Like literally, I mean, Google was so impressive when it came out that like Lycos, Ask Jeeves, and Yahoo like all were instantly thrown out. Because I just remember search engines used to be like a million results and you just couldn't. You kind of found what you're looking for, but not really. And then Google was like this revelation. Oh my gosh, the thing I want is in like the top 3 or 4 results.
Totally,
Right.
And ChatGPT, I think particularly, I think it's like what you were saying is I still don't trust it, and Gemini too. Google's been putting AI results in your Google searches since it released Gemini, and they have gotten better, but I feel like they still oftentimes misunderstand the question or the actual information I'm looking for. They're talking about something else. Apparently, skip the AI thing. Let me just go down to the first website that I want. So that's my experience, but I'm sure too that as I spend more time with AI, that might actually be the case. So we'll see.
Yeah, interesting. Started using it with voice mode, which is maybe something that
I don't want to talk to it. I don't want it to talk to me.
I was just talking to her this morning. I call it her.
Oh my God. I have all these Google Home things, and I would rather pull out my phone and turn the lights on than talk to the thing. Right. It's just and it's not. I don't know why it is. It just turns me off. It works and it's fine and it works for me way better than my wife. For some reason, it doesn't like her voice or something when she has it for things. But still, it's just, to me, it's just more convenient, better, less obtrusive to break the silence arguing with the computer than to just pull out my phone and turn the lights off or whatever. The only thing I consistently talk to it for is to set a timer in the kitchen.
Well, Alexa is like way behind the time.
Oh my God! Well, Alexa was. I had Alexa when she first came out, and we had the thing for about a month. And it would go off every time the TV said something that sounded remotely like Alexa, and like order me like, I don't know, like a sack of potatoes or something. And so finally, I just got so frustrated that I just unplugged it and never used it again. And I've been on Android for a long, long time, so it's never a Siri person. But from what I understand, Apple Intelligence or whatever is going in the wrong direction.
So I just use voice mode actually when I'm driving, because but I use it more to actually have conversations, not just to like run a kind of a Google type search query. So if I'm prepping for something or I'm wanting to talk about the strategy behind something, that's like the use case for when I use it. And I created just a shortcut on my phone so I can tap a button, all of a sudden it's talking to me in my car. And so that's kind of a cool way to...
The only time that I have left to myself that's
the
not
car.
It's in the
intrusive,
car.
when I don't have a screen in my face, when I'm not trying to take in some external information, is literally two places: the car and the shower. That's it, right? That's the only time that I'm allowed to like be bored,
Leave
right?
Rob alone.
Well, I mean, the rest of the time it's like if I'm bored for 10 seconds, zoop, up comes the phone, and I'm reading the news or searching something or doing something, and so it's like we don't have time to be creative. We don't have time to think about stuff. We don't really have time to process events anymore, because as soon as we're bored for 10 seconds, we're like, well, I got nothing going. Oh, wow, what's going on in the news today?
Yeah.
Oh, what crazy thing did Trump say today? Oh, and you're just sucked into this thing. Man, when I was a kid, like, I swear to God, we would get bored and just sit around and smoke cigarettes because we had nothing else to do, But you got to deep think and have dreams about where you wanted to go and think about, conversations you had that day and what the deeper meaning of that is. Now, I feel like a lot of my interactions are surface level because we don't internalize that stuff. We don't have an opportunity. We're just, as soon as we're bored, we're up on a screen or, as it were, talking to a robot in the car.
I'll give you like one counterpoint to that. Like the way that I've found it to like free me up to think more strategically is by just having it record in meetings, and then not having to like scramble to take notes.
So that I quite like, because if I'm taking notes, I'm not listening to the next thing the person is saying.
Yeah.
And it does such an amazing job now of like of documenting, and then if you give it a good prompt to have it break down that conversation and give you the top takeaways and quotes and action items, it's a pretty amazing tool in that sense. So that is one area where
I do like that quite a bit.
Yeah, I actually can't believe people don't use their note takers more, because you're right. And then you can start to aggregate meetings and you can really start to see trends. And I've got a friend, he's like, you can find gold in your meetings of like ideas and things that if you didn't catch in the meeting, you're just trying to react.
Absolutely.
Of like what the client actually said or what the person actually wants. And so I think that's...
And I think, let's be honest, too, the greatest lie that we tell ourselves constantly is, oh, I'll remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, of course I'll remember. I'll remember where I put this.
No.
No, not at all. That's what I need the robot for.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But that's funny. I do think the voice is a little bit of a next step. What I find that I like about it, I call mine Chingu, which is friend in Korean, and she's got a lovely voice, is when I do want to think, because she makes me pause. That's the one thing that annoys me, but it does force me to pause, because the minute as you pause, then she starts to think for you, and I'm like, okay, now I got to stop and think about that. So it's been interesting. It's worth a shot.
I think that's one of the reasons that I hate talking to because of the pause, because it takes so long for it to think about it, get me a reply. Like, if it was a person, I'd be like shaking them by the shoulders already. Like, come on. Maybe it's because I'm from New Jersey. It's like, hurry up. I don't know why I'm like that. But it's the pause and having to wait for it. That's part of the reason
I think it might be
taking my
you
phone.
and not
darn it.
Chat.
That is a possibility.
If you want to experience
let's ask Chat.
ChatGPT, I think, is a little bit behind on voice, and when that does feel more real, it's probably going to be the next like wave of popularity around using the tool.
Oh yeah.
But if you want a better example of that, you could go to, I think it's called Sesame Voice.
Yep.
And you can test that and see how much more real it feels. So that would be a cool thing to go check out. But it is evolving, and it will get within the next few months. I think it'll feel
and that's the other thing, is that things are evolving so fast and changing, and the market leaders are doing this and that and the other thing. It almost feels like if you take time to really like get dedicated to one and really learn a system now, that like it might be gone in 6 months and something else will have replaced it. So there's a little of that wait and see, I think, too.
100%.
With your SEO background, kind of going to the previous question, with now people are not going to Google or they're not clicking through, like click-through rates have gone down a lot. What are your thoughts there? Like, do we need to prepare as marketers for this?
Yeah.
Like,
why am I still paying for SEO then?
Yeah. Like, how are we supposed to approach all of this?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, it's, there is some tactics still around like having better, structured markup and designing your content to be better at answering questions and it's really kind of some of the same like tried and true tactics of SEO, having good PR and having people talk about you more regularly. Those are the things that, the AI models are going to pick up, just like the search engines were picking up.
Yeah.
So I think part of it is still a huge unknown. Like people are just starting to like think about what is SEO for AI in comparison to search engines.
And like, so if everybody's using AI as their window into the internet, like where do I put my content to be found, or does it even matter? Because AI will find it if they're looking for the right thing, no matter what.
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I wish I had a great answer for you.
Doggone it, Julian. We invited you for the answers.
Yeah, I mean, right? Because and even like social media stuff, like, does it matter if it's on Instagram or TikTok? If they're asking, hey, I want to find this person, AI will just find me, right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Although I do think on the socials, they are starting to say, hey, if this is AI generated and we've tested it, they will boot it. Like it will not get any.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it will not show in the feed. You can just see the engagements way down versus like a real video.
I feel like I'm seeing so much AI generated stuff in my Instagram particularly that it's like it is a turnoff. I mean, it's just like, more of the stuff. And it's not, I just feel like somebody's putting in like the same 10 prompts and getting the same stuff out. And it's not, there's nothing great about it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just so much easier now to create kind of crappy content really easily.
Yeah, right? It's just crappy content.
Yeah.
So now you got to weed through the good and the crappy content. It's definitely been something we've been thinking a lot about too.
Yeah.
And it just goes back for us is telling the stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what's your story? Yeah. You can still use AI to animate it, to help you write better.
Yeah.
It is nicer as far as I do feel like at least the writing's got a little better, But and we actually are trying to shorten ours and just more about stories and don't let it write too much for you.
Yeah, 100%. It's great at like helping you like strategize and formulate your ideas and then maybe a first pass, but you really at this point still got to figure out how to make it sound more human. And,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We got a question in the booth here for Julian.
Yeah.
You talked about becoming a consultant and kind of spreading some of your knowledge to other small businesses.
Yeah.
What are the things that you keep seeing with the other businesses you've worked with so far? Like, is there like recurring things that you keep seeing that you're helping people with the same issue? Can you kind of like talk us through just kind of like an example of like what that conversation is like and how you help them?
In general, or with like as it relates to AI? Just
In general? Yeah, just in general. I think, we talked a lot about AI, and I'm sure that's going to be part of your answer, but I kind of want to hear just brass tacks business stuff too.
Totally. I think a huge part of it is just focus. Like everyone has tons of things that they want to do, but it's like what is actually realistic for you to get done. And so that's why I love EOS, because it just puts everything in a box. So there's a backlog of ideas and opportunities and issues, but those are things that we've identified are not the current focus. And so we're going to look at those when we have our next strategy day and then decide which ones of those are relevant. And then we've got our current focus, which is what they call ROCs, our quarterly sprints or projects. And then we're only focused on doing those things because we've identified that those are the most important aspects, bottlenecks or opportunities that we are going to address in this course and all work together to accomplish. So without like having that structure and without having EOS, like you usually, entrepreneurial like brain is all over the place and you get distracted and you start things and you don't, see them through to completion. So I would say like the biggest thing that I continually see is people like, grabbing onto shiny objects and thinking that, that this is the answer, where instead of just focusing on like what we've all identified as the most important thing to do. And it's a lot of times that's the boring stuff. And so that's why entrepreneurs stop doing it. Even if it's like the right thing to do, it's not the fun, sexy thing to do anymore.
Updating the website has been on the bottom of my list for like, I don't know, a year and a half now.
We met. Definitely since we met. Yeah. So just in case I missed it, did you actually say what EOS stands for?
Entrepreneurial Operating System. Yeah. And Traction is the best book to read to understand that, but there's a whole library of books by the author Gino Wickman to help. There's one called Rocket Fuel, one called What the Heck is EOS for employees of EOS run businesses. There's a whole library really great books, but traction is kind of at the core of it all.
Yeah. I think that's a really good point. At the end of the day, AI is just a tool.
Yeah.
So we can have so many tools in our toolbox,
Yeah.
but how do you use them, in what order?
Yeah.
How do they work together?
Yep.
What we were talking about. Yeah.
Right. I had somebody explain AI the other day. It's like, it's this big hammer and people just want to go around and hammer everything with it,
Yeah.
right? And it
Yeah.
just doesn't work that way. Sometimes it's not the right tool.
Totally.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I would say just like start small and say, okay, we're going to only have it help with our operations. And like, let's, Claude is $20 a month. You can set up a Claude project, feed it your employee handbook and other relevant information for your business. And then you can prompt it with less context because it's already aware of
Right.
everything as it relates to your business. Give it past job descriptions, past, all, examples of SOPs, your core values, your website, your list of your competitors, all these different pieces of information that'll just help it be that much better. So like now when I run an L10 meeting, also I love Claude because it references real-time Google Docs instead of just like PDFs that you might upload into
Okay.
ChatGPT, custom GPT.
Good to know.
And so I can literally just go in my Claude project and say, give me write an email recap of our L10 meeting. And it knows, like by finding the right document in Google Drive, the agenda from our meeting earlier today, and it gives me a perfect recap of the entire meeting. It says, dear so-and-so, based on the attendees, here's all of our action items, here is the headlines, and it's pulling all that in based on a template that I provided it and said, here's how I want my email recap to look after each meeting. But I only did that one time. And so now I just prompt it with a sentence, and it saves me, that used to be a half-hour process to follow up after a meeting and pull in all the right information and copy paste and all that. So like things like that just are so much easier now than they used to be. It literally went from 30 minutes to 30 seconds.
That's amazing. I can't even find the documents that I'm looking for in my Google Drive.
Right.
That maybe that's where I need the AI help.
I mean, just try Gemini. Like just the other day I was showing somebody, I said, at Gmail, what are emails that I haven't responded to in the last month? Important emails that I haven't responded to in the last month. And it just perfectly found all the important emails and also drafted responses.
That's impressive. Do you know how it works across different, or can it work across different Google accounts? Because I have,
question.
6 email addresses, and occasionally stuff goes to the wrong Google Drive, and that's why it's so hard to find. And
well, yeah, I think you would have to. I don't know if maybe at some point they'll like open that up as a feature to have access to multiple accounts at once. But I think for now, at least, you're logged into your Gemini through one specific Google account. But yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah, no, that's a real problem. Is things end up in the wrong. There's the company one, there's my personal one, and then there's I have another company email that sometimes things get in there by accident. And boy, when I'm like, I need to just find this proposal real quick. Oh, it's not the one where I thought it was going to be. Let me go check the other 2, and then 20 minutes later, I finally find it and look for the one piece of information I need.
Yeah.
So to clarify, you can go into Gemini and ask it to go into your files and find. How did I not know that?
I mean, there's so many cool like new Google integrations. You can now prompt AI inside of Sheets.
Okay.
So like if you had, as an example, a bunch of responses from clients about why they churned or something, like what was the feedback that client left when they gave you when they left, and you could have a list of 30 responses through like a intake form that you received, and then you could write the function equals AI, and then the prompt, categorize each response into a category of like because it was price or because quality of the content or whatever it might be, and then it'll automatically run the prompt, evaluate the content, and then input it into the cell, and then you could just drag it down, and you could instantly do it for 50 pieces of feedback, and then you could do all kinds of cool stuff. You could translate into another language, but there's a lot of really cool ways to like leverage AI inside of obviously Docs, but also Sheets now, which is I think a game changer.
Wow.
Evaluate financial data, all kinds of really cool stuff. Yeah.
Ooh, I was just thinking I could pull my P&L into there.
Yeah.
No more having to call my CFO.
It's hard to talk about without having the visuals to kind of show how powerful it is, but it's pretty neat. Once people see what's possible, it's usually really eye-opening.
Yeah. Well, I've just learned a couple things today. Like I hadn't even thought, we're on the Google Suite.
Yeah.
And I knew that I kind of had the same problem Rob had. It's like, I know I need to set this up. I just need that an hour or two to do it. I just haven't done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got you.
Okay. Yay, I'm calling you. Or it'll never get done. Now we know who to call.
Yeah. No, I'm actually excited about it now. Before it was like, crap, something else I have to learn.
Yeah.
Now this sounds like it's actually is going to make my life easier. And no little pop-up box from Google, purporting its features was going to get me excited about that. But you have, so
Okay, cool.
thank you for that.
And Rob doesn't get excited over anything. So.
not for having to learn new systems.
Not learning.
Yeah, I already went through this. I swear to God. Here we go again.
Oh, awesome. Well, Julian, this has been great. I know
Thanks for
we could
having me.
probably
It's been
go
so
like,
fun,
so much deeper. I can't, and so this will be coming out probably in a month. We've got a backlog of a few. And
So disclaimer: everything will be
everything will be different.
Yeah.
Everything we
Yeah.
said, just nixed it. But no, we'll have to have you back then for
Yeah,
sure
absolutely. Cool.
to get an
Would love
update
to.
as things are developing.
Cool.
And best of luck with
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Ampra.ai.
Thank you so much.
Is well needed out there.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, man, we'll have to have you come back for a follow-up one of these days.
Yeah, let's do it. Appreciate it.
Cool.
Thanks, guys.